Hello there, and welcome to Ilum Radio. We're your hosts. I am David Beard Menace, and with me always is my good pal, my good friend, and cosplayer extraordinaire, Millie.
Hello.
So tonight, we're going to talk about something that I'm actually very excited to talk about. Mostly because, one, it's my first time ever seeing this, so I was like pleasantly surprised to watch it. And I wasn't able to watch it last year for whatever reason it is. I'm not sure really exactly why I couldn't watch it last year. But tonight we are talking about and rewatching the Lego Star Wars Terrifying Tales special. And for lack of a better word, or phrase, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was hilarious because I always enjoy the Lego stuff, and I enjoy horror. I'm a horror aficionado, I guess you could say. What did you think about it all, Millie?
I thought you'd enjoy that. I watched that special when it first came out last year in October
Mm-hmm.
2021. I knew you'd enjoy that, considering there are a lot of Easter eggs that we'll get into later on. But
And
there's a lot of like horror film Easter eggs as well as like random Star Wars Easter eggs that you probably
yeah,
wouldn't get on the first viewing. But yeah,
like I think there's
really
only
cool.
maybe one or two Star Wars Easter eggs I saw that I got that I was able to get off my first 1.5 viewings. But let's get right into it. Because again, I thoroughly enjoyed it, and it's always fun to talk about. It's always fun to watch the Lego Star Wars stuff because the way it makes fun of itself and it knows what it is. So it starts off with Poe. As always, this takes place after the Rise of Skywalker.
Hmm.
So it's giving us some canonized post Rise of Skywalker Exegol content, and it's Poe Dameron chasing what, four Tie Fighters?
Yes,
Yeah.
for some First Order TIE fighters.
Yep, chasing First Order Tie Fighters, which I really hope when they do give us, and this is like going a little off topic, but when they do give us some post Rise of Skywalker content, we see more stuff like that, like them trying to wipe out what's left of the First Order. Yeah, it'll be very similar to the Mandalorian, but just because like they defeated the Empire again doesn't mean like these ideas and people are gone.
Yeah.
So I want to see that if they do it. Anyway, so chases him down. His ship gets hit, and he crashes on the worst place anyone could land in this galaxy, and that is Mustafar. Um, and looked very similar to the Mustafar we saw in at the end of the beginning of the Rise of Skywalker with like trees, which I thought was kind of interesting. Like, yeah. So what do you
You're right.
what do you think up until that point there, Millie, with the story and where we're going with this when you first saw it?
I first saw it. Oh boy, I'm trying to remember what my first reactions were. I was interested. Uh, Obviously, I am very um interested in what what goes on after Rise of Skywalker because we don't have a lot of content that covers that time period after the Rise of Skywalker, like post First Order downfall.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the era I am most interested in, and I know there are other like time period slash eras that haven't been covered yet as well that I'm also interested in, but post Rise of Skywalker era like events is one of them for me. So I was intrigued.
Mm-hmm. I actually did skip ahead. We missed Vader and the Emperor on Mustafar, and Vader talking about his
Oh,
brand
the
new
se- the
castle.
setup,
You
the
have to
setup
set up
with
for it.
Kravala.
I
And
love that Vinay.
Vinay is the main character or main villain, I
Mm-hmm.
should say. This special, and he's already an existing Star Wars character because he showed up in Rogue One,
Yep.
like for a scene. Never showed up again.
Lo-
But he's a character in Rogue
Lord
One.
Vader and Director Krennic's ship has arrived.
He kinda speaks like Yoda because he always says Vinay wants this, Vinay something something.
Yeah.
It was interesting.
He also is in a deleted scene in Return of the Jedi. That's where he originally showed up.
Really, I forgot about that.
Yeah, like in Return of the, I don't know if he actually shows up in the actual scene, but there's a part in Return of the Jedi where like Vader talks to the Emperor and he walks away when they're like in the Emperor's throne room, and he turns and talks to like one of these like some of these random dudes. Allegedly, one of those dudes
Oh,
is Vinay.
possible.
Yep. And they brought the original actor from that into this, and they figured no one really saw him. He can look old and craggly. He doesn't matter.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yep. Yep.
Interesting is that Vinay like lived past like the what 30 years after Return of the
Mm-hmm.
Jedi, so he's like much 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 older than he should be.
I mean, what's going on, NM Mindstorm? Thank you for stopping in chat. One could say, plot armor. One could say Darkseid kept him alive. I want to say Darkseid kept him alive. If I want to go with canon or canonical stuff, even though
Right.
the Lego Star Wars ain't canonical at all. In my head canon, the Darkseid kept him alive because that's what the Darkseid does. Like it unnaturally does things.
You've seen that in Rise of Skywalker,
Mm-hmm.
so you're not wrong.
Mm-hmm. And I love the treatment with the Emperor. I love how the Emperor is just a frat boy. Like I don't know how to describe the Emperor in the Lego stuff, but he's just
Yeah,
and it works. I don't know why it works so damn well.
I feel like this is one of the Lego specials that's well, out of the two we have right now, the holiday special and this one, I feel like this one was more serious with the storyline than the holiday special. I mean, I guess they were both pretty serious, but I think this one specifically is more serious.
Right.
I feel like
Like
so
this
the
one.
other one was like a wacky time travel story that
Yeah.
so happened to have Kylo, Vader, and Palpatine like all team up with each other.
I Yes, I definitely agree with that. Now that I think about it, this one seems like the one that could be the most post Rise of Skywalker story. Like they go to, like it could have been like a story where Poe just ends up crashing on Mustafar, and he finds like a little kid or someone still living there, and they explore Vader's castle and the weird crap they find. I could really that could still be a
And
thing.
Gurvala could be. I mean, as far as we know, Gurvala only showed up in the Freemaker Adventures, which is another Lego show
Mm-hmm.
that's within the Lego Star Wars universe. We don't know 100%. I feel like he is canon. I actually wait. I think Gurvala is canon because I think his name was like in one of the Star Wars books. I could be wrong about that, but
He
I think
wasn't the baby
name
Hut that was taken
no.
captured in Clone Wars, was he? Okay.
No, different hut.
Okay.
Gurvala is the cousin of Jabba. One of
Okay.
the cousins of Jabba, I should say, because as we found out in Book of Boba Fett, he has more cousins that we didn't know about. So now, when I first saw that in Book of Boba Fett, I legit thought one of them was Gurvala, but I was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So one day,
One day we'll get him back. Well, we did, but not born of canonical source.
well,
But yeah, like
yeah,
of the two,
canon. It's still canon adjacent,
right.
the main Star Wars timeline. So
But back to your original point. Yes, I do agree. Now that you mention it, now I can like think about it. Yeah, you're right. Like this is of the two, this one's probably the closest to being more serious and more canonical to post Rise of Skywalker. And NM Mindstorm, you are welcome. And thank you for hanging out. Let us know what you think of the show and what we're talking about. And also, remember, stay cool in chat. You know what I mean. So,
and Mindstorm's my friend from high school.
oh, well
Chat.
then, they will be cool in chat.
Shout out. Shout out to NM Mindstorm. They make great content. You should go follow them on YouTube.
Ooh, I shall. So, where was I? Oh, yeah, so he crashes, he's walking around, he finds Vader's castle, and Vader's castle's being gentrified, basically, to be turned into a hotel by Gravala, who, when the voice first came up for the voice actor, Jen's ears, like, perked up. The entire episode, she's like, I know this voice. I know who this is. It was driving her nuts the entire episode, like, or the entire, like, short.
Tire
She's
special.
like, Tire Special, thank you. She's like, who is this person? So she's watching it, and every time he spoke more and more, she's like, I have to look this up after it ends. I have to look who it is. And it's voiced by, I wrote this down, give me 2 seconds. Dana Snyder, who voiced...
Snyder.
Say again?
Dana Snyder, yeah.
Who voiced Master Shake from Aqua Teen Hunger Force. And it is the greatest voice for this specific character, because it's already like a skeevy, isn't do whatever they can to make a buck kind of voice, or was that kind of character. So it was kind of cool when we discovered at the end. And it's like, oh snap! Ah! So that's my my little 2 cents on that. Anywho, so yeah, Gravala's basically like gentrifying the castle and whatnot and turning it into like a hotel, which I thought was kind of funny.
Or a casino type thing.
Oh yeah, casino type thing.
Like you see in Vegas or something.
And
That's what I was picturing when he was like pouring Vader's castle new and improved.
And we meet a new character, Dean, voiced by a Rafael Alejandro. Now, I didn't get a chance to look it up, but does Dean, and also let us know in the comments below or after the fact, and even chat, does Dean pop up anywhere else in Star Wars?
Nope. No. I should know, but no. I'm 100% sure that Dean debuted here and hasn't showed up again.
It's just...
I hope we do see him in the future, like in future specials, maybe like a follow-up to toward the end of the special, and we'll get there when yeah.
Like,
we'll get there. I don't want to spoil it yet, but yeah.
In my head, I know we talked about it last time, but in my head, they're trying to set us up for post Rise of Skywalker content. In my head, like, I feel like that we're gonna see this character again as a new Jedi. Spoilers, going forward in things, because it's just they're doing it a lot. So I'm wondering what they're gonna do for like the summer vacation.
Yeah, because in the previous one, we got the tease of Rey training Finn as a Jedi, and now we have the Dean character who, spoiler, was revealed here to be Force sensitive, and Poe mentions, hey, you should meet Rey. I heard she's like training new Jedi. I'm like, are we gonna get Finn, Dean, and Rey like training together? Like, and I'm actually and in the trailer for the Lego Star Wars Summer Vacation special, if you haven't seen it already, it's gonna be more Finn centric in that special, and he's gonna chat with the Force ghosts. So,
I wonder if he will train Dean, because Dean's probably gonna come back. I'm assuming.
Hope so.
Yeah.
Like, he can't just show up just this once and just leave. I mean, yeah, Graball the Hutt from a Lego show that no one probably watches because it's not canon.
Right.
Yeah, but it was a surprise to see him in this special. But what's interesting to me is that the last special was like Rey centric. This special was Poe centric, and the next one will be Finn centric, which is pretty cool. It's like focusing on each of the new trilogy, new sequel
trilogy
trio.
Oof.
That's what I meant to say. Oh, yeah.
Makes you wonder if they'll do one for Rose as well later on down the line, or other
I hope so.
characters like a Babu
Maybe
Frick like
Jaina.
special. Ooh,
Or-
Jaina, yeah.
I feel like we haven't gotten enough of Jaina.
Mm-mm.
No, like she's implied in Rise of Skywalker to be Lando's daughter, or somewhat related to Lando, but
And possibly Force sensitive, so.
true, you know.
Which is, and I know we're jumping way around it on this one, guys. I apologize. This is what we do. We like meander and try to find a point somewhere when we talk about this stuff. But
It's all connected anyway.
It is.
It's Star Wars.
I'll just bring up this one point, then we'll get back to Lego Star Wars, like Terrifying
Right.
Tales. But thinking back about Rise of Skywalker and thinking back to The Force Awakens, wouldn't it have been dope if the reason why the First Order got as powerful as they did so quickly is because their stormtroopers were all Force sensitive into some way, shape, or form? They weren't given lightsabers, but they were just let to fight with blasters.
I don't know, because they were born with it, like they were taken as children, and I don't know. I don't believe everyone was Force sensitive, but maybe some, and some weren't. Like,
No, I'm saying,
I don't
but
know.
what if they
I
did
just don't
that as a
believe it.
story plot? Like they're all
That
Force
would be
sensitive.
cool. I mean, in Rise of Skywalker, they almost had a storyline where like Finn led this stormtrooper rebellion, which never actually happened in the final film.
Mm-hmm.
So I could see that happening, but I don't know about the Force sensitive, like everyone being that. I don't know where they would take that personally.
A very unstoppable army in a post-imperial world, galaxy. Anywho, so
To Terrifying Tales.
Terrifying Tales. So
Introduce
yeah,
the Dean character, and then yeah, they both meet Grabala, and yeah, that's where we left off.
so they both. So it switches back to Vinay and NIL8, which I honestly, the robot NIL8, which I didn't see coming at the end at all. Like, I felt like an idiot when he said it. I felt like Poe. Oh, I see now. I said the exact same damn thing.
Yep.
But yeah, we see them, and we hear about the supposed prophecy, kind of, sort of, about someone coming to open up the secrets of Vader's castle, and we go in, and Grabala's like giving a tour of everything, saying like, oh, this is, the Hall of Armors for, like, you get to see the stormtroopers. We have stormtrooper, scout trooper, stormtrooper, a skeletrooper, which there is an Easter egg with that. I just don't know what that is.
What's interesting is that recently Hasbro dropped like the like Halloween set with like werewolf, I guess Chewbacca, and a stormtrooper / clone trooper skeleton black series, which is, or vintage, I don't remember which one it was, but it was revealed at Comic-Con this past weekend, and I just thought of that immediately when I was rewatching this one.
Interesting.
Yeah, look it up online later, but you'll find pictures of it from Comic-Con.
Huh.
So they have, and the Camtona's like literally a jack-o'-lantern. It's really cleverly like put together. So cool.
That's
and
awesome.
and it looks like the porgs in that set also look like vampires.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
So there's that little thing from Hasbro. Cool.
So what's this? I keep on saying Renee. It's not Renee. It's Vinay. Vinay comes down, scares Poe, and Grabala's like, "Oh, just ignore him. He kind of came with the property. He's the caretaker. He's a little bit creepy." And Vinay's just like sniffing Poe like a dog. And he's like, "Yeah, kind of hard not to." And then he just goes into telling like the stories of different things going on. And he pulls out, which I was surprised. I was very surprised that they had like Ren's helmet from the comics.
Oh yeah. this is like Ren's first like on-screen appearance
Mm-hmm.
from the comics,
Mm-hmm.
other than the comics appearance,
Yeah.
which was really exciting.
Like it popped up, I'm like, oh, no way. That's kind of cool. And
Yeah.
and it starts, and I love the name just because again, horror junkie, the Lost Boy. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh man, this is
Yes.
gonna be so
I
cool.
immediately knew that reference when I first saw that logo.
Mm-hmm.
Like, those who don't know, who haven't seen it, The Lost Boy is the title, like, thing is a reference to The Lost Boys from 1987,
Mm-hmm.
which is a vampire flick. You should go watch that movie. It's amazing. Yeah.
It has
So,
like the '80s,
a lot of
like
these.
it's the '80s goodness. Like that's like pure,
Yeah.
like typical '80s.
Like, they even had like 80s music playing like when they were like riding on their speeders. Like they wanted to put it in our face like that it
Mm-hmm.
was like a parodying the Lost Boys.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Yeah.
and like also like it didn't dawn on me until today. Christian
Yep.
Slater doing the voice.
Yes, I was gonna I was gonna say that. And he played he was in Heathers. I forget what his character name was, but he played the bad guy in Heathers.
Yep, I remember that.
Yeah. Technically also horror, not really.
I see it
Like
pop
more
up
like
on
a dark.
Shudder on
Yes.
a lot. And that Shudder, for those of you who don't know, Shudder is a horror movie streaming app. It's very awesome, very cheap,
Mm-hmm.
and you get a lot of horror movies that show up on there. Sorry, I just had the urge to grab my lightsaber.
No, you're fine.
So, and Mindstorm at chat. Do we know a release window for the next film? Do you mean for the next Lego special or just Star Wars movie in general? Because
And I'm assuming it's the Star Wars film.
the next one is what, the Taika Waititi?
I thought it was Rogue Squadron.
Oh, Rogue Squadron. That's right.
I have no clue.
Let's just say probably 2024 we'll get new
Maybe.
movies, if anything.
I'm getting a lot of shows right now, and I feel like that's their main focus at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Just movie in general. Yeah, so it's...
So,
Millie's right. It's probably Rogue Squadron, and we don't know.
and technically the specials count as films since they're like over an hour. But they're specials and they're not really full-length feature films.
Right. Stupid lightsaber. So yeah, Christian Slater is the voice of Ren, which was effing cool. And they gave him the mullet just like they did in the Lost Boys for David, like the main like antagonist, which I thought was great.
Yes.
They had the montage like you mentioned. They were hanging off the bridge, just like in the movie. And then like what are they called? Biffs, like one of the aliens that were the Cantina bands. I think they're called Biffs, right? No.
Yeah, Biffs.
One of the Biffs was doing the sexy sax man, like Joe.
Yep.
Fudge, what's his name? Of course, I'm forgetting it right now. But yeah, they did the sexy sax man. Like.
Yes.
Yeah, I jumped out on my chair. I was like, oh my god, sexy sax man. Or actually, no. Jen brought it up first. She's like, what if they do the sexy sax man thing? I'm like, there's no way they're going to do that. Not for a kid's cartoon. No way. And sure enough, there he was, shirtless and everything, like playing the saxophone. It was pretty cool.
Wow. I'm surprised you guys haven't seen it like when it came out at first. Like it came out like over a year ago at this point.
And honestly, I wish I could tell you why we haven't seen it. There's no good reason why we haven't seen it. We just never got the chance to. I think maybe I forgot about it because like in October I work at a haunted trail, so it's like my world is basically that. Like Saber Guild stuff kind of stops, unfortunately, but that's the only thing I can think of. Because Jen didn't even know it was a thing until I brought it up yesterday. Oops, my thing vibrated. So, we get the sexy sax guy, we get the '80s montage, and then it's like Kylo Ren, or I'm sorry, Ben Solo right now. Oh yeah, I almost forgot about the Nightmare on Elm Street sequence.
Yes. Okay.
I almost forgot that. That I enjoyed a lot. Um,
I want to also mention that the Lost Boy story in this special is a direct like rip also from the Ben Solo comic.
really?
Like not direct rip, but it's like referencing a lot of the stuff that happens in the comic. Like, I mean, it's obviously not 100% accurate, but it's kind of like if you like look at the Ben Solo comic and also like this, like there's some familiar elements like Ben killing Ren as well as like him joining the Knights of Ren with Ren in his Kylo Ren. Now, in the comics, he doesn't really wear his Kylo Ren suit yet. He wears like a black version of like Han Solo's outfit, essentially.
Okay.
But it's similar. It's still a Luke's thing, and we also see like the Knights of Ren also burn down Luke's academy. So
Huh.
similar
Interesting.
elements, not 100% accurate, but if you like read the Ben Solo comic with Ren and the Knights of Ren, you'll like kind of know what I'm talking about here. So,
It's interesting because that's like kind of like with these, especially with this episode or this special. That was kind of like not the running gag, the theme where it's like it's not 100% accurate. It's basically a retelling of what actually did happen in the canonized stuff.
like an exaggeration of what
Yeah,
actually happened.
yeah. Because we saw it later with the Wookiees pod. Well, we'll talk about that because that one was my favorite of
Oh,
these of all
Wookiee's
these.
Pod was interesting. Like, yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there. Um, so they get back to like we have like the Nightmare on Elm Street dream sequence, and we have like the little kids going around Ben, like singing "Ring Around the Rosie" but in Huttese, which I thought was
Yes.
pretty cool. Han Solo showing up. Oh, we're doing dream sequences now. Your mom wants to know if you're gonna come home for dinner. And so yeah, so they did an homage to that, like to almost to a T, pretty much, except without anyone dying. And
Yeah. I mean, it's Lego Star Wars.
yeah, I
Technically.
know. But so far up to this point, up until they get back to Luke's camp after the whole '80s montage, what are your thoughts on everything up to this point here?
Oh gosh. No, I was just enjoying myself again, watching it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have nothing to add there.
Gotcha.
So,
So we see a fight between Ren and Ben. Pretty cool one actually, because he's fighting him and he's like fighting like the Knights
and
of Ren, which is kind of dope.
happened in the comics too. He also had the green saber. Let me double check that.
And I think in the comics, Ren was all like burnt up and meated up, wasn't he?
He was burnt up, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so here he fights. I'm looking at one of the pictures here. He's wielding not his master's green lightsaber, but his blue saber.
Hmm.
His blue saber that he had as a Padawan. As well as another blue saber, but in another like comic thing, I'm seeing him with one. But he had two blue sabers essentially when he actually fought Ren before he killed him.
Thinking about it, jumping off topic again, but we'll get back to it. I know when we were talking about Obi-Wan, what different types of shows we would want to see come out with like the new era of Disney and Star Wars. I would not, and I know it's been fan casted before, but I would not mind seeing the Ben Solo or Kylo Ren comic become a series.
Oh
And
yeah.
young Ben Solo could be played by Finn Wolfhard from Stranger Things.
Yeah, I've seen that fan casting a lot lately.
because he freaks out, like especially in Stranger Things. He gets just as angry as he does when he freaks out about shit.
Yep. Yep, exactly. Yeah.
So he would be dope. I think he'd be dope as a young like
He'd be
Kylo slash
perfect
Ben.
as Yeah, he'd be perfect as Ben.
But back to
I think he's the right age too at the moment. He's like almost like 20 or something. At least like 17.
Yeah, but they're gonna make him play like a 16-year-old until like he's 30.
I mean,
So
I actually double check his age right now. He is 19. I was close.
nice.
20.
Yeah, I didn't think any of them were like 21 or close to 21.
A lot of them are like adults now. Flies by when you're watching Stranger Things. Anyway.
Yep.
So where were we?
Big fight between Ren and
Fight.
Ben. Oh, and they're making fun of him, calling him a Kylo because Kylo's like insignificant.
Oh yeah, we kind of learn about the Kylo name there.
Now, is that a thing?
Here.
I
Don't know. I don't
Yeah.
remember. I don't remember the Kylo name origin in the comics.
Let me look real quick, just in case. Just so we're not. Origin. That is too long of a story. Yeah, I'm not gonna look it up. I was just looking up where the name Kylo came from. Where did the name Kylo come from? I don't care about the American... whatever. Okay, because now it's in the baby name registry. So we're not getting into that. So... Anyway, yeah. So they're calling him Kylo as an insult. And then he turns out using Kylo as like his name because he starts to like it. He fights the big bad. I don't remember how he defeats him though, even though I just saw it like 30 minutes before we went live. Again, twice. Like I don't think he runs him through, does he? I don't remember. Oh no, he drops rocks on him. That's right. So because he was lifting rocks like the beginning of this, and he was like, "What is this stupid? When is this ever going to help?" And sure enough, he lifted rocks on him this time, drop rocks on him, and then he picks up like the Ren helmet. The Knights of Ren bow to him. He's like, "F this!" and he goes to grab back his Kylo Ren helmet. That's when Luke walks out, and he's like, "Oh, Ben, what are you doing?" He's like, I'm no longer Ben. I am Kylo." And it kind of more or less ends with that. I don't remember much after that, even though I just saw it not like 6 seconds ago. Right? Anything else big happen after that, or not really?
Oh, it just cuts back to like the present day,
Right.
I believe.
So it cuts back, and then we have Vinay talking, to our heroes or our characters in here, and he's giving them more of a tour of the place. And they get to a spot where they just need help opening a door to get some more, like, Sith artifacts, possibly.
Yep.
And it seems like Poe is trying to be, like, just gregarious and, trying to be all cool. But he's actually trying to say, like, no, listen. If there's any inkling that he's telling the truth, I don't want a Hutt getting, like, these Sith artifacts. Like, no way in hell can a Hutt have these, no matter what kind of Hutt. So I'm going to figure it out. We're going to get in there, and I'm going to get them first. So they open up the door. They start walking through, and we hear a little bit more about our new hero's backstory, Dean. Do you want to take this one really quick?
I don't remember much what happens in there, so...
So we come to find out that Dean is working for the Hutt because for Grabella, because his mom used to like own a business. I forgot what business it was exactly, But the First Order came, they messed it up because they thought she was like working with the Resistance, and now no one wants to hire him or hire her for anything.
Oh, that's right.
Even in this world
Yeah,
of
I
like
don't
post
remember that.
no Resistance, and he's just making ends meet with his family, working for Grabella the Hutt, which
That kind of parallels Poe's backstory a little bit.
does it really?
Like his mom, like his parents were in the resistance, and then when Poe was like a young teenager or a young adult, I guess he was like a spice runner type thing.
Huh. I did not know that. Well,
Yes.
yeah, I know they mentioned something similar in The Rise of Skywalker about it. But I didn't.
And Shara Bay was his mom, uh, and Kes Dameron was his dad. They show up in the comics a
Mm.
lot, so that's
And,
how I know about that backstory.
and he was conceived and born on Yavin. Yavin 4.
Indeed. Yep.
Hmm. Which is pretty cool. Hey, Lily. So, we learn more about his backstory. Grabella the Hutt is going nuts because now he has all this new storage now for like a business center and a gym, possibly to put in his new hotel. And they get to another cut in the story talking about a lightsaber, a specific lightsaber, which I forget the name of right now. And they go into another terrifying tale of the dueling monsters, which looked,
Yes.
excuse me, we're looking at the title, looks very much like the 1920s and 30s like monster flicks from like back in those days, like Frankenstein versus the Blue Lagoon.
I linked in the notes like all of, like the Easter eggs from like the horror movies. Maybe that title is referenced somehow.
I got the Wookiee's Paw. That's the one I skipped by because this one unfortunately wasn't my favorite. But let me look.
I don't know if you looked at it. They're like pretty obvious. Okay, wow, they skipped. Okay, they didn't. Okay, they skipped the monsters one.
Aha. I mean, it was funny. It was funny, but it wasn't my favorite of like of these three stories. Unfortunately, not sure why.
I mean,
Not that it's
it
bad.
was interesting. It was interesting seeing Maul and Grievous fight each other, though.
Yes, that was dope.
Also, the name reveal of Grievous's original name. That was
Mm-hmm. That
uh,
was pretty cool. I
pretty
love that Sam Witwer came back to reprise his role as like Lego Darth Maul.
yes. I mean,
Which
he always voiced Maul, other than yeah, like he always voices Maul in animated projects. So of course he'd come back to
of
voice
course.
him.
Well, at the same time, he is such an effing nerd. I don't think they can keep him away like at all from doing any
Yeah,
type
of
of
course.
voice because he voices like other stuff in these shows as well. So
Yeah, he usually voices Palpatine too, but that's gone to Ian McDiarmid recently. Yeah, he also voices Maul, and he also plays Starkiller, or voices Starkiller, but is also the body of
of
Starkiller, or the face, I should say, body and face. That's about
for
it, I think, for Sam Witwer in Star Wars.
for Celebration Orlando, there was a trivia show by called it the Schmodown, and they had Sam Witwer and another couple other like YouTube celebrities at the time like in the show. They were just answering like Star Wars trivia, and Sam Witwer is no effing joke because you had to spin a wheel like Wheel of Fortune, and whatever it would land on would be the subject of the question. It'd be like video games, books, comics, like park stuff. You name it, that it was part of the show. So they had like some really deep cut questions, and Sam Witwer like knew all of them. It was incredible, like effing
That's
incredible.
surprising.
Yeah. So super. He's the dream man. He's the dream man. And like Jen's never heard Darth Maul's voice in the animated version, so she's
Oh,
hearing.
interesting.
Yeah, she hears him talk. She goes, "Is that really his voice?" I'm like, "Yeah." She goes, "That's a deep, sexy voice. I'd turn to the dark side if you talked to me with that voice." And I'm like, "Yeah. I mean, yes, yeah." And he does
Oh,
it
man.
too well. But I like how it begins with them.
She would enjoy Clone Wars and Rebels then.
Yeah, definitely. But it's interesting how one, it starts with them showing like the two characters slash monsters like kind of being put together, revived, I guess you could say. Um,
Wait, has she watched Solo? Because Sam Witwer also voiced him in Solo.
she did, but I guess
Huh.
because it was live action, it was different.
Interesting.
I guess.
The original actor was the body, but Sam Witwer actually voiced him in Solo, so it's the same voice. Strangely. So, just wanted to point that out.
Maybe she don't. I didn't want to bring it up, but maybe he doesn't remember. But you know, but no, I don't think so. Solo, I saw by myself in the theater because she had to work the next day,
Oh, okay.
and nothing was going to stop me from seeing Solo.
Right.
And then we saw it once later on. But I think by the time, again, when it got to the end, she had to go to bed because she had to work the next day. So I don't think she even saw live action
that
Maul
explains.
in it. I think.
Explains it. Okay.
But where was I? So yeah, so I like how it starts with them being put together, and I love how Maul has like different legs that he just can't stand up on. He just keeps on falling off.
The BB-9E roll thing,
Yep.
that was really funny.
Ah, almost there. And they give him like his spider legs at the end.
Not
Grievous
to
is
mention also the Night Sisters revived him and gave him legs. I think.
in Clone Wars.
Oh, in this.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know if we brought that up yet.
I did not. So, well, so here's I again the running theme of this. They change the story around a little bit and kind of like embellish some
They
stuff.
do. They do.
So, in Clone Wars, he had the spider legs first, and then the Night Sisters gave
Yes.
him normal legs, right?
I remember. You're probably right.
I think. I think that's how it started. Because I think Savage Opress found him
Sounds
on the
about right.
found him on the garbage planet, and he had his spider legs, and his horns were all huge, and he was all messed up. And then they brought him back. He brought him back to the Night Sisters, and they're the ones who like did their effed up magic surgery and gave him like normal legs. I think that's how it went in the Clone Wars. Whereas this one they just gave him spider legs. And anywho, so they put him back together, voiced by Maul, and then we hear about like the whole like Grievous thing, and Grievous is like Grievous is being sent to get this lightsaber. And while
He goes to Palpatine first, or Palpatine holovids him.
Yep.
I guess.
Yep, thank you. So they talk. Grievous starts coughing, and like parts of him start falling off, and like again, Palpatine being the party frat boy. Ugh, we're really scraping the battle with General what do you call him? General Cough or General Wheezy? I think he called him.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. And then he's like, I used to back in the day I had Maul and poop, and then he just fell apart. And Maul shows up behind him with the spider legs, and then like Palpatine's like, all right, cool, you go and get the thing, and whoever comes back will be my dude, I guess. So
Then after that ends, Maul shows up at his window.
So he shows up, makes the deal, they go, and they have like a montage of like Grievous fighting different things to get to the lightsaber. And then he finds the lightsaber, turns it on, then like Maul's there, and then him and Maul start fighting, like doing stuff. And I know I'm like going through it because again, it wasn't my favorite of the three stories for some reason. I don't know why, because I really wanted to like it because it had two cool characters, Maul and Grievous, but for some reason it just wasn't hitting for me, and I don't know why.
Yeah, it was like the least favorite of mine
Yeah.
for the three, personally.
So
I personally liked the first one, then the second, and then the third one, and then this. Like my top three, I guess if I had to pick.
Same. I definitely can agree with that. Same. So they fight, and Maul wins because he cuts Grievous apart using like the Force, and basically does like a Monty Python the Holy Grail like Black Knight, just takes like all his limbs off.
And I think he broke it too.
What, the lightsaber?
Yeah, when like that's when he almost died again. I don't remember. I just remember it falling and then breaking.
Yeah, so Grievous cuts him in half again,
Yeah.
and then Maul uses the lightsaber to cut Grievous apart and push him away, like his body like down to like the bottom of the canyon basically, and the other like robot saves him. Maul goes back to Sidious, and the scene starts with Sidious is sitting in a chair and he's like spinning when like the guards like in the air with the Force is like bored. And then Maul shows up and like Sidious is like shocked. You see like the temple guards is like fall in the background because he's no longer being like held up in the air by the Force. And he's like, "Oh, do you got the saber?" And he's like, "Yes, I do have the saber." Lights it up and he's like, "And I will be the Now that's when like the saber breaks. He's like, "Oh, I guess he damaged this thing, whatever." And then like Sidious pushes like Maul like off of the ledge, and he's walking up whistling like the Empire theme to pick up the saber, and you hear Maul falling for like 30 seconds, and all of a sudden, boom, he hits. He goes, "Okay, there it is." And then it kind of ends.
Isn't that where Mace Windu died?
It is where Mace Windu died.
Wait a minute. So like if Maul lives past this as well.
Don't be that fan.
No. No.
Don't be that fan, Millie.
Oh god. Okay. Nope. Nope. Not going there. Not going there. Not going there. Not going there.
Like, I will gladly defend most Star Wars characters living
Oh god.
a lot of these terrible things. I will gladly defend that, but not
Uh,
Mace Windu. Like, I think
I apologize.
like his death is the reason why Anakin loses it. Like, if it turns out that he's alive, then it's like, then I'm like, then what the H? Why did he switch? Like, of all things.
Well, I mean, then again, like freaking Anakin killed Palpatine and Vader. Like he redeemed himself in Return of the Jedi, and then dies, and then like I don't know. Obviously, Palpatine lived another 30 years,
as he grew back.
which proved Anakin's sacrifice and redemption pretty much useless at this point.
Which
I don't know.
Which is a weird point that people got upset with.
Yeah.
Because
I was in denial when I first heard that. I was like, whoa, okay, what the fuck happened with Anakin's sacrifice and redemption? What was that? Was that useless to you?
am I nothing to you?
Nothing to you.
So here's where
Wow.
I get kind of like weirded out with that whole thing. So everyone got upset that the Emperor came back because he was a clone, all that stuff, right? I get that. However, the same thing happened more or less in the novels.
Yeah, in the Legends novels.
Yeah, like the Emperor was cloned, and Luke Skywalker turned to the dark side.
Son as well in the novels.
Did he really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did.
Huh.
Not like Rey's dad, but like
Yeah.
clone.
Huh. I did not know that.
It's been a while, but I just know he had a son in Legends as well.
Huh.
It was Force sensitive, I believe, as well.
See, so like, and this is the thing I
Legends
bring
is
up.
weird.
This is the thing I bring up with people like who get upset about the Marvel movies, how they change stuff way too much, how it's not how it was in the comic. I'm like, fine, I get that, sure.
Well,
But
that's excusable because the MCU's their own universe separate from the comics universe.
right. But with that said, if they did that exact same thing in comic book fashion, there wouldn't be as many complaints, I think.
Right.
Because for some reason, when it's done in a comic book, it's almost excusable. But if it's done
Yeah,
in a
and
movie,
and
it's like tragedy.
especially with Marvel, it's like more acceptable because of the whole multiverse concept. But with Star Wars, there's like no real multiverse that exists other than, you know, Well, I mean, the existence of Lego Star Wars pretty much proves it, but Lego is their own weird canon type thing. I don't know.
I will go so far as to say, even with Visions, that's their other
Oh,
multiverse thing
true.
too.
True. Visions also exists. That's
Brent,
true.
Age of Guru asks, "Hey there, guys. Hope all is well. What you talking about today? We are talking about the Lego Star Wars Terrifying Tales special."
We were going off the rails for a bit, but we were trying to like prove a point here
Yeah,
with what's happening.
with Anakin sacrifice, Mace Windu,
Oh, well,
Maul surviving.
Maul falling off the same area where Mace died in episode 3, and yeah, that turned into this whole thing.
I'm telling you, if they bring Mace Windu back, that's when I'll lose it. I will forgive everything else that Disney is doing. Not that I'm like that angry neckbeard that gets mad at what Disney is doing. I do like what they're doing.
I will jump out of my seat like, yeah, I'll jump out of my seat the same way I saw Cad Bane in Book of Boba Fett. I almost said Obi-Wan Kenobi, but hey, um,
Although if they brought him back
yeah.
as a clone,
So,
I wouldn't be upset.
I don't know about the clone thing. I don't know.
Yes, what were your thoughts on it? It was fun, but I did enjoy the Freemaker adventures out of the Lego stories it created the most. So, I loved it. This was my first time watching those terrifying tales of this stuff, and I enjoyed it. I love the cameos. I love the callbacks. I like the horror stuff. But we'll get there. We'll get there, Brent. We'll get there.
Yes.
So,
Yeah. We're not done yet.
yep. We just finished talking about like the dueling monsters of this special. So little buddy Dean fixes the lightsaber because it was broken still, and he uses the lightsaber to open up another door that leads him to like all these different Sith artifacts and whatnot. And that's when Vinay tells him the last story of the Wookiee's Paw, which the
Obvious reference to Monkey's Paw.
Yep. And it starts off with like looking like the Twilight Zone like title screen or text. I thought that was amazing. I thought that was cool. I love that a lot.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And even Vinay's like what did he say? He even said the same thing Rod Sterling used to say. Imagine if you will. He said the exact same entrance. It's like yes.
Oh yeah. Coincidentally, is also right at Disney's Hollywood Studios. Fun fact. So, Disney and at the Twilight Zone, like, yeah, they're connected. Well, in a way, through the parks. Anyway,
Is that the Tower of Terror?
yes,
Oh.
Twilight Zone Tower of Terror, actually.
You know
So,
I've never been on that.
really,
Nope.
Rod Sterling's like the narrator of that
Oh,
ride, which is pretty cool.
that's
So,
amazing.
I won't spoil it for you, but I'll just tell you that it's 100% related to Twilight Zone. So,
That's
really
amazing.
cool ride.
That is amazing. And I heard it's pretty effing terror. Because I know I've been on like
Yeah,
similar rides.
it's a drop ride, yeah.
Yep. And I've heard like that it doesn't drop you; it actually shoots you down, so you're actually going a lot quicker
Yes.
than you would if it dropped you. So I've heard many stories of friends going on that, and they're like, "I don't want to do anything else anymore. Like I'm done. I'm done with the night." But I love the Twilight Zone intro. I love that Luke is still drinking blue milk in this.
Of course.
Yep.
Common theme in the Lego Star Wars universe, so
And he still has like,
No.
the blue milk mustache, which is great.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's
wonder if that theme will continue in the next special.
oh my god, I hope so.
Him on the beach drinking blue milk, but that I can see happening.
Yep. Milk was a
Terrible.
terrible choice.
Oh man.
So starts off with him on the farm, and Uncle Owen's like, "Yeah, I need you to go into town and pick up another droid." And he's like, "Oh, I want to, same as like the original as the OG." Now this one is one of my favorites, same as you, but because of how much they changed the story, like of
It's
Luke.
kind of like a Lego Star Wars What If.
Yes.
Is exactly what it is, and I loved it. Like,
Yes. And like even like if you take away the silliness of it, it is almost feasible as its own like what if story, like almost like so feasible.
So please do a Star Wars What If thing like
Yes,
Marvel does. Like that would be amazing.
yes, and make it just and you know what? Just carry on with the vein of Visions and do
Yeah.
like different animators with every single episode. That would be effing dope.
Yeah, please. I'd rather it not be Lego because I want to see like Star Wars costume community like do those costumes like from this type of show. That would be freaking
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah. Oh,
Um, yeah.
so Luke goes into town. I want to get off this rock, and like Watto shows up out of nowhere. I hear you want to
Well,
get off this
yeah,
rock.
water shows up out of nowhere. Like it's so random, but hey, he has this Wookiee's paw.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I love how it's just like a wreck. So, and Jen brought up a good point, which they solved really well. So, like, I think in the original Monkey's Paw, when it came out like the paw was out, and every
Yeah.
time you made a wish, like one of the fingers would go down. In the
Yes.
original, so she's like, it's a Lego hand, and she's like, hey, wait a minute, how are they going to count wishes with that? That makes no sense because it's a Lego hand. There's no fingers, no digits, and they did handle it pretty well. They just unlimited wishes, for lack of a better word. But I love it was a Lego hand, and I want to get that as a tattoo now, like a Wookiee Lego paw. Like it'd be just right in the, like right here. This would be so dope to get. It would fit with my weird stuff I have anyway. But yeah, this really took Luke's story and narrative and just changed it to like for the better or different. Like, what do we see? We saw Luke joining joining the academy and becoming an Imperial.
A stormtrooper at first, and
Yep.
then he wishes to become the best pilot. Becomes a TIE pilot. Wedge, which makes me wonder. Like, I wonder if he met Wedge at some point, because Wedge was also originally a TIE pilot once. So
That's true.
I don't know if they both met in that story. That would have been freaking amazing. Like, they would have still been friends. I bet.
Yeah. They would have
And
been like wingmen with each other, which is even freakier.
Then Vader trains him.
Yes.
He meets Vader, and that was like my favorite part of the entire thing.
And it's very similar to how it was like a combination of Obi-Wan and Yoda,
Yep, exactly.
which I thought was pretty cool. And
The callback to this blinding,
yep.
the blind training.
And it's then he's like, I want to be like stronger than you were. And then we see after the training, we see Luke almost looking like more like dark side Luke. He has like facial hair, he has bags under his eyes, like he looks.
And he has like a 5 o'clock shadow.
Yeah.
And he's literally wearing his Return of the Jedi gear, but with a cape.
Yeah. Like, I know it's Lego, and I'm pretty sure we've seen an illustration somewhere, but I really want to see someone cosplay Darkside Luke.
Yes.
I mean, it would be much different than what he wore in, like, Return of the Jedi, I'm sure. Like, it would be like what we saw, like, in Lego, like, cape and stuff, but I would love to see a Darkside
Imagine
Luke.
it would be like combo of Return of the Jedi outfit, but with the Mandalorian cape.
Yeah.
What I mean. That's how I'm picturing, and of course his 5 o'clock shadow. So yeah. I feel like it would be a combination of those two outfits since they do. In those two things like take place really close, timeline wise. So.
But so the Death Star gets attacked, and they both fly out. Now Luke is starting. Well, so they go to fly out to stop the Death Star from being attacked, just like in A New Hope. And who's leading the charge, which is amazing, is Leia and Obi-Wan.
Okay, so
Go, Millie, go.
Watching that scene again, like, made my heart go pitter patter because of what happens in freaking Kenobi with the Leia and Obi-Wan interaction there, and them like trying to blow up the Death Star. It's her as an adult, and Obi-Wan is like as an old man, like, oh my God. Again, like I said last episode, it hits harder when you watch it again after Kenobi.
Yeah.
I don't know why, it just hits harder.
Yeah, it does. I like that they brought James Arnold Taylor back. I know he does. It's
Oh yeah.
yeah for like older
Yeah.
Obi-Wan. Like I mean, yes, I know. Like he's done like just like with Sam Witwer, where like they do the voice animation voices anyway. But when they bring him back, it just adds that cool factor. I don't know, just something about that, like having him like back in it, doing the voices. I always thought was like kind of pretty cool. But red flag, get your red flags. Gotta love
Oh,
Lego Watto.
I get that reference.
Please explain it to me.
It's from one of the it's from one of the Lego specials on Disney Plus. That isn't one of the holiday specials.
Gotcha. Oh, red flags. Hit your red flags. Yeah, okay.
There's a clip of it on YouTube out there.
So they're flying out and like, what was it? And it does hit harder, especially with what they say to each other. Because like Leia's like, "Thank you for saving me back there," and Obi-Wan's like, "No, thank you for saving me." And
Yeah.
they're flying in, and
Oh my
like
God.
Obi-Wan gets hit and he flies out, and it's just like Leia by herself, and she's about to take out like doing the trench run, and then like Luke says the line, it's like Beggar's Canyon back home, and gets gregarious, tries to do like the little like move he did in the beginning when he took out the X-wings for Vader, and he ends up blowing up the Death Star himself again, still somehow.
It was destined to happen in any universe. It doesn't matter if it's this one or the main one.
Mm-hmm.
He's always destined to blow up the Death Star,
Yep.
apparently.
And you know, like the end, like this, at least this story arc ends with like him and Vader like floating in space, like you blew up the Death Star, you know, explain it to the Emperor, blah blah blah. And then it goes back to Mustafar, like present day, and like is that how it happened? And like Poe's like, no, that's not how it happened at all. So Luke Skywalker didn't blow up the Death Star. No, he blew up the Death Star, yes, but not like that. Like he's trying to, you know, like kind of put the piece together, but I agree with you. I would really like to see this as a what if they ever do a what if type of show for Disney Plus and Star Wars, because it'd be so dope.
Yeah.
So when we come to find out like Vinay's like ultimate plan, he wanted like this holocron that will grant you anything you wished, or just holocron of like immense power, and
Yeah,
this
Dean
lightsaber.
finds this is holocron.
Say again.
Dean finds this is holocron.
Yep, Dean finds it because we find out Dean is Force sensitive, which is pretty cool. Again, Disney, give us some canonized post, like Rise of Skywalker
Ray
stuff.
training Dean and Finn. Please.
Like
You've set it up in the Lego specials. Please, just
Mm-hmm.
do something with that storyline.
I mean, technically speaking, Dean could be the kid at the end of The Last Jedi. Technically speaking,
I don't see that happening. He's like a little bit older than the kid in The Last Jedi.
yeah, I know.
Our movie takes place a year later.
Yeah, I'm just going with like some head. I'm trying to make it work in my head canon.
No, unfortunately, they're both Force sensitive, but I don't know. I doubt it.
Come on, Disney. It's there. It's effing there. It's effing there. It's right there. Anyway, I mean, if they do ever do a what if series, I know I'm just jumping all over the place, but if they ever do a what if series, it would probably be Clone Wars animation, if anything,
Oh yeah.
which isn't a bad thing.
I mean, there's the upcoming like Tales of the Jedi show, or it's Clone Wars season 7 or / Bad Batch styled animation, but they're like anthology stories. That would be cool.
Which we always enjoy the show. Good anthology series. So Vinay becomes like Iron Man type of Sith Lord because he's walking like in a giant
More
mech.
like Hulkbuster.
Yeah, Hulkbuster suit. Because he has like the holocron in his chest, kind of like the arc reactor.
Exactly.
And he has the lightsaber, and he starts chasing him around.
Hulkbuster, I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. And then they turn like the battle droids into zombies, and it just
weird.
Yeah, it just becomes like a weird Night Living Dead. But I didn't care. I loved it. Like I thought it was pretty funny. And I forgot where the scene happens, but
oh yeah, Grbala was like hiding in the back room.
Yes, Grabala's hiding, and then the little battle droid like just breaks in there, sticks his head in it, and he goes "it's," and he just says a bunch of numbers. Let me see. Fudge, I had it written down here. Come on, find it, David. We're live. It's in the stuff. It's in the stuff that Millie sent you. Here it is. Here's B14961138815. Ah, and he gets taken out.
Love good Shining references there, and there's another Shining reference with the two henchmen of Grbala standing like the twins in The Shining.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
It was very brief, but I got that immediately.
Ah. Bastards. I think there was also an advertisement with that also at some point for this.
Really?
With the two the two of them just standing there.
Yeah. 100% intentionally Shining.
Yep.
So.
But they defeat Vinay at the end because they take the holocron, and I think did Dean use the Force to take the holocron or no? I forgot how they take the holocron. Oh, I think BB-8 takes it.
Poe shot him and let go of the holocron and had it in his hands.
Right. They had a Benny Hill moment when they're just running different rooms and stuff popping up.
And they go to the X-Wing.
Fix the X-Wing. Dean fixes it.
And
he later comes in and fires the people. Yep.
I think Vinay dies Terminator style.
He does. Either
Terminator or Lord of the Rings. It's kind of a mix.
Yeah. Yeah. Because he goes to chase the thing.
Is the ring, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like it's a mix of both.
I agree.
Terminator and Lord of the Rings.
Because when I first saw it, I thought Terminator 2 first.
Yes.
And then with the article that you posted, I'm like, oh, Lord of the Rings. Oh, okay. I can see that also. I'm still leaning more towards Terminator 2, but cool.
Could
nice.
be both.
Yeah. Could be both. I mean, why not? But anywho. So, story ends on a happy note, obviously, because most of the Legos Star Wars specials.
Or does it?
Wow, wait, what else happened? Hang on. What am I missing?
Did you forget when the Annihilate gets out of the lava?
Oh yeah, that's right.
That scene.
I forgot about that.
Terminator.
So yeah, the droid NIL8 survives the fall, gets out, and goes to reach into the lava. Yep. And a hand comes out. Obviously, it's Renee's hand, or we're assuming it's Renee's hand. Grabs him. We hear a laugh, and it just ends. Right? I think that's where it's we're kind of.
Actually, wait. There's this scene. Okay, I'm just now remembering this. I did not write this down at all. This just came up. Remember Addams Family Values when the kid was at the tombstone?
Oh yeah.
Wednesday was at the tombstone. I think. Her love interest grabbed her hand like that or something.
It was Debbie. She was buried. It was at the end of the end.
It's the kid and Debbie was buried.
Yep.
Hand grabs her exactly like that and screamed, and Debbie I think was laughing. Shot for shot. I'm just now remembering that. I feel like that could be a reference to Addams Family.
It could,
that
definitely.
Could be a deep cut reference.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that. I totally agree with that.
When I first saw it, I just thought of the Terminator thing.
Same.
But rewatching that, I was like, okay, I think that thing was the Addams Family
Yeah.
values reference.
So, all in all, what was your take on all of it?
It was interesting. So we didn't really cut. I mean, we kind of did, but I'll say it again. The Poe mentioning like Ray and
Mm-hmm.
how like he should meet up with her, and or him joining the Resistance, becoming a pilot, also meeting up with Ray, and possibly training in the light side of the Force.
Mm-hmm.
Her. They're setting us up for some storylines we may or may not get. I hope we come back to that storyline again at some point, hopefully in the Lego Star Wars Vacation special.
I honestly think they're setting
Doubt
us up for
it,
something.
but I hope so.
Yeah, like it
I
just
hope
feels
all
like they
these
are.
specials like culminate. Like, and obviously the next one we'll see is all of them going on the Star Cruiser and stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
in the clip I've seen, they're like directly like referencing like what happened, like the locations on the Star Cruiser and what happens. Like I'm really hoping we actually see some of the Star Cruiser characters in there, like the captain, the like assistant, like Sammy the mechanic, Lieutenant Croy. I know he's a First Order officer. We don't really know his fate. He
Mm-hmm.
only shows up in the parks. He doesn't die. Like he just leaves. So I don't know. We'll find out what happens. Maybe Corey does come back. I don't know. I mean, it's we've seen that the First Order's still around even after Kylo's and Palpatine's death. Like,
Right.
um, mm, I don't know. I just want to see some Star Cruiser, more Star Cruiser rep in that special than we already gotten. But that's my predictions for when that happens.
Brent, Age of Grogu. They do go to quite a few planets as well, from what I saw in the Lego panel at Star Wars Celebration. They do? Really? Huh. Oh, I think you're right. I think he's right. Yeah.
We did see Scarif. I know
Yep.
that. Scarif Beach Party. But yeah, that's cool.
Also, Valeria is in it from season 2 of the Freemaker Adventures. Huh. Interesting. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, nothing. I mean, it's gonna. Hopefully, we'll see Dean again because I do like Dean. He was a cool character.
Yeah.
Um, see how they're able to bring in other
And if
characters
they're
into
able to
this.
bring in some Freemaker adventures into this, some like obscure Star Wars characters that other like Lego shows and stuff, like come on, it'd be nice for them to show up again, like
Yeah,
Abala did.
yeah, definitely. Um, any closing thoughts before we end for tonight's show? Because we did cover a good
Um.
amount.
Oh, I think does the LFL like ILM special come out tomorrow on Disney Plus?
It does.
Ooh,
Which means we can talk about it next week before the Lego
that's
special.
true. That is true.
Mm-hmm.
Did intentionally start talking about these two before that special and then the Lego Star Wars Summer Vacation special, so more content to look forward to. So yeah.
It's almost like we're planning this and not doing it as we go along.
Hmm.
Not that I'm giving them our secrets, but anywho, friends. Before I go, before we go, because I forgot to bring it
Socials
up
plug.
at the beginning. Yep, our socials
So.
plug. So, if you like our content and you want to let us know, please hit us up in the comments below. Let us know what you thought of this episode and what your thoughts were on the Terrifying Tales Lego Star Wars. If you want to reach out to us directly on our socials, you can find us on Twitter at Ilum Radio. You can also find us on Instagram at Ilum Radio. And also on TikTok at Ilum Radio. And I've said this a bunch of times. There's nothing on there yet, but there will be. If you want to reach out to us and give us an idea for an episode, something you want us to specifically talk about, but you don't want anyone else to see, you can also send us an email if you're not on socials. And our email is ilumradiopodcast@gmail.com. Those are the ways to get to us. Definitely like us, subscribe to us, give us comments, give us interactions. Let us know what you think of what we do. If you want to find us directly, such as my socials and Millie's socials, Millie, where can they find you?
You guys can follow me on Twitter at me_Halpern, me_HALPRIN, Twitter, as well as Instagram and TikTok at Millie_Halpern.
Cool.
As well as my YouTube channel, Millie Halpern. If you just go in the YouTube search bar and type in that, you'll find my channel there. I used to post a lot, but now I don't because I focus on this now, so you can still follow me there if you want. Made previously like live reactions to like stuff that happens online related to Star Wars, but I also post non-related content there, but haven't posted there recently. But I try to stay active on YouTube, but I've been focusing on Ilum Radio more now, so
it's a project. It's a project that we're both handling as best as we can. If you want to follow me, you can find me on Twitter at The Bearded Menace. You could also find me on Instagram at Daily Bearded Menace. I post a lot of Gundam content on there. On Twitter, I post a lot of weird stuff and random ideas, but also Ilum Radio things and Star Wars things and Marvel things. If you can also find me on TikTok at Daily Bearded Menace. Really, there's nothing there, but I do have some things on there that are kind of funny. Or two things, actually. I actually shoot my wife with a Lego Death Trooper in one of those videos, so look for that in there somewhere. She didn't think it was funny. I thought it was hilarious. You could also find me later tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on twitch.tv/DailyBeardMenace, where I do mostly Gundam builds and play a video game every now and then. So if you want to hang out after and talk more Star Wars, that's where you'll find me live again. Anyway, friends, that is it for us, unfortunately. We'll be back next week talking about the ILM special and maybe some Star Wars news somewhere that we may have missed. Again, find us on our socials, hit us up, say hello to us. And as always, friends, be easy, stay frosty, and may the Force
the Force
be with you. Take care, friends. Peace.